Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Crit Series, European edition, presented by Tacx. We are out on the Volcano course tonight for 7 laps, 20 miles, or 33 kilometers. And this is a competition for 10 live spots at a live event in April, actually, that Zwift is putting on. So there's an all-out battle for the top 10 amongst the men and the women's race today. Within the leaderboards currently in the men's crit series, we do have Kim Little actually leading by 1 point right now, followed up by Soren Bay. Tim Cartwright in third, making his way up the series. Gavin Dempster and Phil Whiteley been very consistent. Be watching out for Vidar Mail, I think, and the Marcin Krzwanos there from Team Poland making his way into the top 10. There are a few outside the top 10, just barely outside the top 10, really wanting to make their way into that live final. Be watching out for a few of them as they do make their way into, throughout the rest of the series. It is a best of 7. It is a best 7 out of 10, actually, for the racing. The men are jumping out onto course for the Volcano course here today, and as usual, it is all out from the gun. Series leader Kim Little is actually live with us today, and we can see some of his live shots out there today. We will be following along with Kim, actually, as he has the burger power up with the feathers, with the wings, excuse me. He's got the wing burger power up. That does not actually exist in game, just so you guys know. That is the cover up any stream sniping, but we will follow along with some of his live action as we do get out onto the race course out here today. Last week, though, there was a little upset, and it's good to see him back out on course, actually. Zwift HQ rider and Ride for Noon Sigma Sport, actually. We do have Tom Hargreaves, took the sprint in the last 100 meters, just flying by the field out on the London course, actually. So that was quite an effort from Tom Hargreaves. It's good to see him back out on course, and we'll see if he can make another upset on the day. I'd never count him out, though, in any sprint, that's for sure, as the guy definitely has in real life as well as Zwift results when it comes to sprinting. The women are about to jump out on course too. 30 seconds to go. Rachel Elliott has absolutely walked away with this series. 140 points currently. Z Kreider, the sprinter, watch out for her to try and hold on to the pack throughout the race today. 117 points, but does not have, she has her 7 in already. Patricia Engelman, Kristen Falk, Cassie Baldy, Frederica Haight, as well as a few others down there in the leaderboard are still looking for their best of 7. So watch out for some change-ups maybe in this top 10 situation as we get further into the race series. So the women are jumping out on course. Now, we were told that Rachel was not going to stop racing, though, and would start showing up to support the KISS racing team, actually, which is very cool, actually, to see. And it's going to make things very interesting because usually Rachel would be off the front hammering in the races and walking away with them. And we'll see if she did show up today. I'm not seeing her in the group here today, maybe taking the week off after dominating for so long, but she said she would be coming back to the races to support some of the KRT racers. We'll see if we do find her out on course today, but we do have Vanderbridge Gray as well as Angerman here. Now, this is going to open up a little bit for some of the other riders, though, to grab some more points in the series. So I'd be watching out for that as well. So Kristen Falk, though, definitely, along with Patricia Engelman, watch out for them to be battling out for that second place spot in the series. Cassie Baldy as well has been able to go right along with the attacks of those two, usually forming a solid chase group whenever Rachel would get off the front and go into her full-on TT mode, time trialing. So it'll be interesting to see if we do have another attack from that group to go off the front of this race. I do believe it was last week. Looking at the results from last week, we do have Rachel Elliott obviously walking away with it, but Patricia Engelman able to get the better of Christian and Cassie actually in the sprint. Z Kreider always seems to be able to take down the sprint in the chase group and was able to do so last week. She's definitely going to need to defend, though, this week and try and hang on to that front group actually as they try to make that break. We'll most likely see the breaks out here today on the Volcano course. The first time back into the volcano. The first time going into the volcano, a lot of times people are able to hang on because there's not quite as much of any kind of uphill gradients that you have to deal with until you leave the volcano and then go back in through the opposite side. So the men are actually heading down out of the volcano right now to show you exactly the downhill section here that does lead us right into the only real significant uphill. It is a two-tiered grind into the finish or lap banner that they do go underneath. Now, for the race today, I want to go over the rules so everybody knows exactly what is going on here. This is a crit series of competition. So the race today, the rules are that power-ups are allowed, TT bikes are not allowed. So and you must have a heart rate monitor on, and you must also have a power meter or a smart trainer for your power source. Z-Power cannot win the races. The points for the first 20 European men's and women's riders from 20 to 1 in reverse order are rewarded. So first place 20 points all the way to 1 point for 20th place. Points will count towards the overall standings, 10 races, and best out of 7 count. There also are weekly prizes in this, so there's a little more motivation to race these races besides the prize of a live final if you're looking at getting into the top 10 situation there. But there will be weekly prize draw for qualifying participants, and the top 10 riders from European League will be invited to the live final at a to-be-determined date and time. We are looking at about April, from what I'm hearing, for that live final. Again, race eligibility, Z-Power riders are not eligible for league points, and all of the results are found over at zwiftpower.com. That's where I'm getting all of the information over there. Again, we are live as well over on Twitch and YouTube if you would like to watch on a live streaming platform. If you can't catch the race, all of our VODs, our videos on demand, can be found over at our YouTube channel as well if you got to tune out at any point. We also do have integration of the social medias. If anybody does want to interact with the broadcast, you can do so by, and I do see Rachel Elliott actually commenting here about being unable to join in on the race, and says that it's great to have her in on the broadcast here, though. Series leader currently says the back from work, too late to race tonight, was going to be the domestique for KRT girls next week, and she actually gives us some crying emojis and a sorry, Nathan. No worries there, Rachel. And we look forward to seeing you out there next week. And congratulations on your overall in the series. So if you would like to interact with the broadcast, go ahead and bring your comments in over at Zwift's Facebook. We're on our live post over there. Or you can also tweet at us at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. Pictures can come on in that way. Comments can come on in that way. And we can bring those right in. And I also am following the Twitch chat as well. So with the men's race, though, it looks like a couple of breaks are starting to take place. A couple of riders off the back as we are following last week's winner, Tom Hargreaves here. And it looks like our Sloth here doing everything he can. No hurry monitor, though. Maybe, hopefully, we'll give him a ride on for that effort to get back on here out of Germany here. But definitely going to be needing to maybe adjust that HR monitor if he has it on to get it picking up that heart rate again, or else he will find himself on the relegation list, as you got to have a heart rate monitor on in order to qualify in these races here. Moving our way back, though, we are all the way back to 62 riders in the lead pack. They're going to have to do some work to break things apart here if they want a higher chance of rolling the dice in that sprint here. But we do have Monteiro here out of Portugal, Sousa coming out from the PTZ team here as well. Litchfield's there, Pin is there as well. Vander, it looks like Root out of the Netherlands now, trying to chase down a few that are falling off from the pack. This looks like to be the main chase group here, back 68th or so place. So Hargreaves sitting pretty, looks like 160 beats per minute though at the back of this pack. Doesn't look like things have been too calm so far. Let's look at a few of the heart rates here. 148 there coming from Kalen. I know he does beat a little bit lower than some of the others in the group, though. Tom Wolf Kalen, mountain biker out of Norway here, 149 beats per minute. Definitely an endurance athlete as he's competed in some major, I believe it is 12 and 24-hour events with some pretty solid results, actually. G. Richardson, Gavin here coming from Team Innovation. Let's see what they're looking like as far as presence in the race. Look at all the Alienware kits, actually. So you can identify a lot of the racers by the jerseys that they are wearing in-game, because there are plenty of teams out on the Zwift racing scene, actually, as well as within the group riding scene and the workout scene. A lot of coaches have teams in-game. You also have just a lot of clubs from cycling that do have their teams in-game that are running group rides, not just racing teams. But Richardson here, definitely from a racing and workout / group ride team, as Innovation runs a lot of solid workout rides, actually. But Innovation definitely present here. We do have S. Palmer up toward the front there. You can see the Alienware kit where my cursor is. We're also seeing a couple more. P. Fawn is there in that Alienware kit. So Fawn actually coming out of Switzerland there, riding for Innovation, and as well as I believe a domestic pro team in real life there. So if you want to be able to identify the teams, get familiar with some of the kits they are using in a game here. We do have Teselius here coming from the SZR team, or SZ team, excuse me. They do borrow the SZR kit, which is a club out on Zwift, but the SZ team is what kit we are looking at right here now. Up toward the front, though, Innovation now with the attack. Here's Szymanski now giving us a look at maybe the back end of the group now out on course here. Mike Szymanski, good to see him there. But Teselius here, 7 watts per kilogram, attacking going into the second lap in just a moment here. Commissar there from Vision now going with him. Hodges now sees this maybe as a threat. Hargreaves as well, 173 beats per minute. This is a lot of firepower at the front end of this race. Webb, Richardson, Goralik there coming from Team PL, actually a newer rider I'm unfamiliar with from the Polish team, up toward the front of the race. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this is a ringer they brought in specifically for the series in support of their riders that are in the top 10, but it looks like a little bit of a split taking place here. But with Cartwright here, middle of the pack, I don't think anybody's too concerned, because they'll just jump on that TT wheel and bring things right on back. But 6 laps to go, it says on the lap counter, 6 laps to go on the day. We will bring the women's race right back in with you guys. I do have to log in real quickly over there and find one of the racers out there, as we have lost, it looks like, our feed and are in the pens with the women's race. So apologies again on that. We'll see how quickly I can get logged back in and follow up with the women over there. So FanView does give us troubles once in a while, and I did find my avatar in the pens on that feed. And within the FanView, just a quick explanation, within the FanView of the men's race, I cannot leave this event as is its own event, and which is a good thing, being in this event and being able to only see those that are in this event, as it keeps things clean for this feed. But I'm unable to actually get back over to the women's race at this moment. But we'll log back in over there quickly and get you guys and gals that feed of the women's race as fast as possible there. So looking toward the front, though, here we do see it is going to be Phillips here from Innovation. No break happening just yet, but 166 beats per minute. Orgel, Commissar, Palmer. Things look to be calming down a little bit. 157 beats per minute. So it looks like not too high of a pace just yet. It was a little bit of attack, but nobody really put under any pressure from this front group just yet. We saw Cartwright. We saw Series Little, Kim Little. Fairly calm, it seemed like, actually, through this section. If we actually take a look here, Series Leader in that actual overall kit right now, hammering away, but looking fairly calm. 285, 286, as you can see here, coming from him, and very, very chill at this point. 140 beats per minute. So they're definitely in that lull point of the race, actually. 23.2 kilometers to go, 2 laps in of 7 right now. As you can see, it's always good to see exactly how the tactics do play out from the racers themselves. And that in-game kit there with that yellow Z jersey Very cool to see there. But Kim definitely taking it easy at this point. A few of the riders trying to make things happen at the front. Now, Cartwright, though, as you can see here, this is going to be a threat. And I have a feeling we're going to see a response here, actually, from Kim, knowing that this is one of the strongest men we've ever seen out on Zwift, actually. But no, nothing from him just yet, actually, which is really interesting to see. To see Boniface and Cartwright go off the front, but it looks like Kim fully trusting the pack at this point to bring that right on back here. So nothing too serious there coming from the series leader to bring this back here, knowing that there is a large pack of about 60 riders that can bring that right back in. And that's been the, it's kind of been the theme of the Crit series, is that can you trust the group? And is the group strong enough to bring back any chases off the front? And, you know, Kim, I'm not sure that he has too much support from Team Experimental out there today. If we take a look down at the pack here, how many Team X jerseys do we see out there? We do see the series leader kit there, but I'm not seeing too many Team Experimental kits there in the group. So he almost has to trust that the rest of the pack is going to bring this back together here. But BRT is out there. We are seeing some WBR riders, KRT obviously, but they're not going to chase down Cartwright. ODZ doesn't have a huge presence, so it's just KRT who's going to sit in, allow Cartwright to be off the front here. And with only a couple seconds off the front here and going into the climb, I think this will be chased down very quickly. Kim positioned himself at the front there quickly, though. 146 beats per minute here, and not a lot of distress there. But on the other end of it here, we've got Cartwright here on the front, already up into 172. Boniface there as well, all the way up in the 161. So already pushing on to threshold numbers here. And it's definitely going to be a struggle, I think, for them to hold on to this gap and maybe burning a couple too many matches with the attacks coming into the climb into the volcano, because of that attack onto the downhill there. So definitely some interesting decisions there coming from somebody that I would think was trying to take the overall jersey off the shoulders of Mr. Kim Little here. We'll see. But again, Cartwright always likes to get that most aggressive rider on the day, and it's all about the workout here for him as well. I think he's fairly confident that he can punch a ticket to the final if he wants to, and I think he's also looking for a workout on the day, but definitely attacking off the front. But I think Cartwright has sacrificed a few wins out there because he's always that most aggressive rider on the day, it seems like, trying to get away. I also think that being such a great TT specialist, he is just looking to get off the front and stay away from the pack. He loves to be able to just hammer out big watts off the front and throw down high speeds. But with such a large group of riders, they're able to surge at the front and bring back any attacks. A solo attack, not really able to make it happen a lot of times. He's been able to make it happen in past race series and races that didn't have quite as much on the line. With so many teams showing up and wanting to bring back any attacks, it's been very difficult to make anything happen in this series so far. So we're going to see if we can log in, grab the women's race here, if I can find some of the avatars out on course. Again, we lost the feed. We were stuck in the pens. I'll see if I can bring this back in for you, for the viewers here as fast as possible. We are logging in right now and see if we can find one of the riders to ride with out there out on course here. So looking through some of the comments as they're coming in here. Holy Watts here coming from Claire Laflamme. Good to have you here. And a couple of more. Okay, so these are great questions. I really appreciate all of them. Come on, Ducky, decorate. And so, Tom, is there a new nickname for... let me help me out here. Is Hargreaves got a new nickname out on course? I mean, is there suddenly a nickname for? Is that who we're talking about here, Harris? You gotta let me know, because I wouldn't know who else we'd be talking about decorating out there as well. So let me know if if we have a new nickname for Hargreaves out there, the decorating from Ducky here. Now we got to get all kinds of new memes in the broadcast here. Gary McDonald, have you seen this coming from David McDonald? Off topic, what workouts would be beneficial for BMX rating? Want to produce more leg power, Derek Ramsey is asking. All about that sprint. Make sure you, Derek Ramsey, are out there getting big sprints going on. Thanks for the question there. Question and comments are always appreciated. Make sure to keep them coming. And yep, quick twitch development, low reps, huge torque. Yep, Daniel Degania is right on there. Z Carter's saying that she is, I'm watching, I have a rare night off and will be dropping in on the NA race later. Sounds good, Z Carter. Speaking of the NA race, just so everybody knows, the North American race, if you didn't see our Zwift Community Live upcoming streams post yesterday on our Facebook, we are covering the West race today. We have a live event going on at LaGrange Cycle Club with LaGrange Cycle Club with Zwift HQ involved as well. So we will be covering the West race for our broadcast tonight. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're looking if you've been missing and wanting some West broadcast, definitely jump on in to the broadcast over at our Twitch channel or on Zwift's Facebook, and we'll be hanging out also with some coverage of the live event coming in from LaGrange Cycle. So Team Fearless says, bring it on, Rachel, from Z Kreider there. Absolutely loving the banter there as well, coming from Z Kreider over at Zwift's Facebook. So looking here, Basalt's saying West Side over in the Twitch channel as well. So it looks like there's a little bit of excitement from some of the riders who have been racing in the West, probably looking for a little bit of coverage that they have not gotten recently. So we'll definitely be bringing all the coverage to you from the race, actually, in the West Coast, actually. So looking through here, we're going to see if we can find some of the riders in the women's category to ride with out on course here. There are a lot of riders, though, out on course, and I don't think I actually follow too many of the riders, actually. So we're going to see if we can make our way over to the Volcano course, and if we can, we'll be able to find the women's race out there. Because we did get stuck into the pens for the women's feed, actually. So as soon as we can, we will be bringing those shots in as quickly as we possibly can for that race, actually. So Cartwright here, with another attack here. Hodges, KRT making their way to the front. Little's there as well, 7.3 watts per kilogram, as you can see. We'll give him a ride on. Cartwright there now along with Bane. And it looks like Team Experimental KRT, definitely the ones to be watching out at the front of this race. But Team Experimental with just a solo rider, actually. And it's pretty amazing what Kim's been able to pull off, actually, in this series without a whole lot of team support. Bane now with an attack, though. It looks like under 18 rider, it says they're out of the US of A. 194 beats per minute. He's also racing in the CVR series, it looks like, actually. And I'm going to check out and see if we have any past results here from Bane. As U18 rider, US of A. He cannot actually take any points for the series as he's a European rider, actually. But it looks like he's definitely been out on course killing it lately. Putting out over 6 watts per kilogram, actually, for the CVR World Cup Race Zone E. So definitely going to need maybe a Zada approval there. But good to see the U18 rider out of the USA out there hammering away. Always love to see the new next generation out there hammering away amongst the crowds in this racing scene and seeing what kind of power they can put out there. Of course, some great stories coming out of Zwift with that. The most obvious one would be Ollie Jones. Riding for the Continental team with Team Dimension Data. So really cool to see all of the up and coming next generation hammering out there. So Szerzynski here, MD here for BRT there, Kalen there, Commissar Phone, all still in the pack. Still 60 riders or so. Nothing breaking up so far. So definitely the only place it seems like that they can really find themselves to get away out on course is that uphill grind, that 2-tier in the Volcano course. It does continually come at you, but it seems like this week they're a little calmer than usual. Last week things were non-stop attacks over and over again, but I have a feeling a few of the strongmen were making that happen. And this week, maybe a little bit calmer, maybe not quite as much motivation to break things apart early on, at least. Wanting to wear some of the riders down a little bit more. They are 23 minutes in, about 20 minutes to go of racing at this point. It's a full-on everything you got effort, that's for sure, out on course here. Usually, you know, when they do go for it. But being a group ride here, not a group ride, a group, you know, a race with a large group out here, it's always going to be, you know, the tension between, do I want to make the attack off the front? Am I going to sit in, save energy? And it looks like we've got a little bit more of a save energy type race out here today, as that's definitely the way to go if you're looking for a later attack. Now, Kalen, though, not wanting things to be too slow out here, making an attack off the front. We do see him on that Cervelo bike here, actually, as this is one of the fastest bikes, this S5 actually, with that disc in the back, actually. And that disc in the back is the fastest bike out on Zwift. To have the S5 with that full 808 disc, actually, is the fastest bike out on Zwift. Faster than even the Tron bike, but it is only available to beta testers. So Kalen here, hammering away, trying to maybe instigate something, make a few of the riders there work, maybe working for Cartwright. Now, is Kalen, though, in the top 10? That's the question for, I believe. No, he is not in the top 10. Vidar Mail, though, from KRT is within the top 10. And maybe they are working for Vidar to try and get him higher up in the overall standings. Vidar has taken a win, I think, in the series so far. Now, what I'd be watching out for, though, is some of these later startups for their best of 7. With Hargreaves taking that win last week, definitely going to be one to watch out for some more wins. If he continues to dominate the series, he could, or not the series, but dominate these later races, he could quickly find himself in the top 5 or even a first place position as we get down to the final races. As a best of 7, it would take, he's got 3 races in as of last week, so I think he's got to race every race from here on out. And if he does so, he could end up in first place overall, as I think his results are that good out on the series here. So Schaefer here now, 8.2 watts per kilogram. They're heading into that 2 tier we keep on talking about. Commissar phone, it looks like. Car right now at the front here, making sure he's in a good position. Teselius here now, the winner, I believe, of the SCR race yesterday when they were out on a mountain course, trying to make his way past all the races, but not going to be happening, as Cart right now kicks into 8.9 watts per kilogram. Looks like Gannon from BRT now, 5.8, 162 beats per minute. Trzynski from Team Poland now. This is a team always super consistent, and they do have a few riders at the front end of the series at this point still. Krzwonos is in there for the series overall right now. Right along with it looks, actually no, it's just going to be Krzwonos right now. Trzynski, always a stronger rider that's been working for them. Trzynski was out there as well, but has not been able to get any solid results recently. So Krzwonos, there were 68 points, looking to maybe get some of his teammates to work with him and make a couple of steps higher in the series overall here. We do see the series leader, though, on the full-on attack, actually. Kim Little off the front here. 600 watts coming from him, actually. 8 watts per kilogram. Trzynski, that we were just talking about from Team Poland, actually, right on his wheel. Cartwright going right along with it. Brett Boniface, Trzynski, too, from Team Poland. Just speaking about Team Poland now, 4 seconds off the back, as you can see here, from Innovation, and they see a serious threat. Little, Boniface, Trzynski, Phillips, all off the front. This is 4 of the strongest we've ever seen out on Zwift, but Phillips here from Innovation playing the good teammate. Actually, not really that great of a teammate, actually just full on attacking the group, making sure that nobody goes along with them. The interesting thing here is Cartwright is in that group, and Vidar is not doing this correctly as a teammate. He needs the full on orange numbers. He's got to go all out to close this down. Otherwise, he has only brought the pack back to the group here, actually. And so at this point here, Vidar actually counterintuitively, it looks like, bringing the group back to his teammate Cartwright now at this point. But at the same time, Vidar is in a top 10 situation right now with the overall series. If all he has is 6 watts per kilogram right now, he needs to come back to that break, but he needs to go with those orange numbers. He's got to go with 8 watts per kilogram and make sure that nobody can hang onto his wheel with nothing less than 6 watts per kilogram over threshold effort, making sure that it is nothing but a full-on attack. And if they don't do that, the group is just going to sit on the wheel, and it looks like it has actually been teammates that have shut down a 4 off the front breakaway group, actually. So it looks like Cartwright here is 6.8 watts per kilogram and unable. Probably a lot of frustration, actually, from the rider at this point. Boatswain here, Cartwright to Celius. And have they even dropped anyone off, or do we still have 60 in this group? Looks like Hargreaves here playing it smart. 163 beats per minute, very low heart rate compared to some of the attackers there, allowing the group to do all the work, waiting for that sprint situation, actually. But it looks like Bokrad here back in 42nd place. They were able to get rid of 20 riders from that 60 rider group. So definitely a smart attack and able to whittle things down, but not really getting done what they were looking to get done, I think, with, you know, whittling down of maybe, you know, 5 or 6 off the front. Boniface we saw in there. We saw series leader Kim Little in there. Now the question is, are they going to continue attacking? It looks like they're not messing around at this point. Maybe hoping to make everybody burn a lot of matches there. We are seeing Kim Little, the series overall leader here, 163 on Baldwin's wheel there, as you can see, and definitely on the attack on the downhill. It looks like Caden Sports off the back. Adrian Timmett's ex-Tour de France rider from years ago in the race, but unable to stay in the lead group now as the attacks continue to happen. And it is a 1 second gap here, 10 meters to Kim Little. The question is, with these attacks in the downhill, will they be able to have another kick? They have to kick a second time into the uphill here. 159 beats per minute. I think they're going to have the effort in the legs. Cartwright backing off just a little bit here. Will they be able to snap the elastic here as they continue to stretch it out over and over again? But no, it's all back together. The question is, will they attack into the 2-tier one more time? Kim Little here now, 6.8 watts per kilogram, you can see from him, and they're gonna have, it looks like 2 to go in just a moment here, and it is 9 watts per kilogram. Definitely has some solid sprint effort out of him right now. Semi-sprint here coming from Cartwright, 10 watts per kilogram, not everything they got, but almost there. To Celius now at 7.5. We are seeing Blaney now going with it as well. Leonard is there as well. It looks like Webb is going with it. Who is going to be able to hang on with this attack? I think this might be all we're going to see from them, though. I thought perhaps after the little bit of a chink in the group's armor, because that's it, that you have to find that chink in the armor. The group at some point has some weaker links in it, and if you can snap that elastic off with those links, you can get a group going off the front. But it looks like perhaps those chinks weren't quite large enough and unable to really break through and cause anything but a few off the back to fall off the pace here. But it looks like not going to be a full-on break off the front right now. We do have a few more maybe falling off, as we are seeing it down to 35. Bain here 38. So Jordan here falling off. Tucker as well. Bogarod, Orgil. So again, we still are starting to see them drop like flies little by little, but it's still going to be a large group to the line here. I wonder if they're going to continue on with this kind of effort, though, this kind of continued attack every lap until the final here. We do have 2 to go. We do have 2 to go here, as they are on lap 6 of 7 out here. And so we'll see if they do try to make a couple more attacks before the final sprint to the line. Will they be able to get away and have a latch shift ditch everything you got to the line, VO2 max, 1 lap effort, or are we going to see a sprint out there today? Let's hear your predictions over at the Facebook chat, as well as Twitch, our Twitch feed as well. I'd love to hear your predictions. Will they have a sprint effort, or is there going to be an attack off the front that stays away? We've seen 1 or 2 attacks off the front that do stay away in the entirety of the series, but usually it is a sprint finish amongst the riders here. So we'll have to see if it's going to end up with that sprint finish, or if we're going to see an attack off the front that's able to get away here. So what's the distance? James Elsey is asking. The distance on the day is going to be 33 kilometers total. 33 kilometers total, or I believe it is about 22 miles on the day. Let me just double check that. 20.5 miles and 33 kilometers total. 20.5 miles and 33 kilometers total on the day. Thanks a lot for the question there, James Elsey. Also coming from Gemma Anchors here. Kim has the power of Gray Skull coming from Gemma as well. So good to see Gemma tuning in here and looking through here. And I was beta and have no back wheel there, Johnny Nobler saying, I think you had to ride a lot, Johnny, to get that back wheel. I think there was some sort of a lot of riding you had to do. So Tony Kroll saying 132 coming through. Paul Hopkins saying, go on, Kim, unleash the nanny legs. So we've got a lot of cheering on for Kim. What is going to be the situation here? Is it going to be Cartwright? Is it going to be Kim? David Crisp is saying Cartwright for the win here. So a lot of predictions coming on through for Cartwright and Kim. You know, I have a feeling I'm going to throw it out, my hat in the ring with this one and say Tom Hargreaves, ZHQ, he's a strong sprinter, and I think he's motivated here. It's going to be up to them to the pack, though, I think, to make it happen for him, is he's got no teammates out there out on course to really close anything down. Now, we do have two KRT riders off the front. Kalen is the domestique of the century, I think. This guy can set a pace of 5 watts per kilogram on the front for a long time, and we may see a Kalen Cartwright duo hold on to this gap, but it is only 6 seconds, and we've got the German rider here, Kessel, hammering on the front right now. He was up in that 6 watts per kilogram. Now we do see Hargreaves there with that big Z in the name. Trzynski there from team Trzynski, excuse me, from Team Poland. Also, they do not want to be left out at this point. But 2 KRTs off the front, and KRT is not going to be closing this down, I don't think. They are going to keep things calm as possible, and they do have plenty of riders represented in the pack here that will not be doing any work. And a lot of times that can lose some motivation on the group if nobody's willing to do any work. Vidar Mail sitting in, as you can see here, for the for KRT. We are seeing one on the back as well. I do believe that may be Hodges on the back there. And looking toward the front of the pack, though, Innovation, though, trying to close things down. What are the numbers from Cartwright here? Up into that 600 watts again with 1 to go. 1 to go out on course, and I am not sure they're going to be brought back into the fold. It's going to be a difficult day for them, I think. And going into the bell lap, there is a little bit of a gap now at this point. We do see the live feed there coming from Kim Little now, series leader, 159 beats per minute, 400 watts. So it's definitely been a fade type climbing into this lap, reserving, I think, at this point, trusting that the group is going to come back. You can see last week's winner, Hargreaves, sitting on his wheel at this point, not really trying to make any kind of a chase. They're allowing the other teams to do all the work. Again, Kim Little and Tom Hargreaves, two isolated riders out on course without any teammates to really do any work for them. So they're going to be looking to the rest of the group to make the chases, but it is going to be Cartwright. Continue to attack with Boniface. Boniface trying to make things interesting here. Now we got Innovation, though, 181 beats per minute, doing some work, it looks like, for the series leader maybe, and also trying to get some of their riders up toward the front. Again, remember, Fawn is in 7th place overall right now. Innovation's got a whole lot of motivation to get their riders. Again, BRT there with Gavin Dempster, Phil Whiteley. Those are 2 riders to be watching out for. I believe that Dempster's riding for BRT. I might have that incorrect. I think he might have made a swap up on the teams, but for sure, Whiteley is riding for the BRT team here. Actually, no, Dempster, is he in the race though out there today? Maybe taking a week off, actually, but looking through, Whiteley from BRT and the rest of the BRT riders definitely going to have some motivation to close this down to the likes of Mr. Cartwright out there. So Soren Bay, though, I'm not seeing him out on course. So maybe taking the week off and not going to be challenging his teammates' overall lead right now out on the series. So looking through here, Kim Little, 4.8 watts per kilogram. We got a half a lap to go out here. We do not know the situation for the women's race for a live feed. We will bring them in as soon as possible. I do, though, have zwiftpower.com results. Now, because I've been unable to bring them up and find them on my other feed here, as soon as we leave the feed here from the men's race, it will make it so that we can go and find the women's race out on the Volcano course, and we will cover the final lap or 2 of the women's race. But you guys, I am fully committed, just so you know, to covering the women's race as best as we possibly can with the tools that we currently have. So I apologize 100% for being unable to have that feed up there. Early on, we did call that it was going to be Cassie Baldy, Patricia Engelman, and Kristen Falk most likely off the front, and that's exactly what we see. They have a 22-second gap from what I can see right now. Cassie Baldy, Kristen Falk, Patricia Engelman, all off the front. It does look like Cassie Baldy has been on the front trying to make a couple of attacks, actually, as she has been putting out 4.4 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. We are seeing from Kristen Falk a little bit less at 4.2. Now, that is a great battle that we've seen from them over the series so far. Patricia's been able to get the better of them, and she's put out about 4.3 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. Kristen there, 4.2. Cassie, 4.4. The hardest worker, it looks like, as far as watts per kilogram go for the race, trying to break things apart there. So, again, those three, third, fourth, and fifth place, they're off the front. It does look like Frederica Haight is not in the race today. Oh, no, she is in the race, but she's a little ways back, off the back, actually. So she may be losing out on the top 10 for the series if she's not able to work her way out of the top 15. She is currently in 15th place the last time we looked. Actually, Kimberly Gray, Kaz Jen, William Prinz. We're seeing Kirsty Hole also from Vision Cycling, Tilda Hine, Jerlene Vanderbij, and Kirsten Pohl from the KRT team, all within the top 10, actually. So Carrie Konebear from Vixen off the back from the main chase group, actually, who's currently in 10th place. She might find herself with a little bit of a change-up in the series overall as well. But we'll get back in with the women's race as soon as possible when the men do finish up here and give us the live feed of that. Now, we are heading into the final right here. It looks like the left-hand turn's coming up here. And what's interesting to see here, I believe that Cartwright was called. Teselius is up toward the front here. No, Cartwright's got 16 seconds. He's off the front. Has he done it? Has he caught everyone out? But he's got to hold on to the finish line. There's 1K to go. Hargreaves, last week's winner, making his way to the front here as well. But will this be an absolute upset? Cartwright in TT fashion, off the front, upset the entire crowd here. He's done it so many times in other races. This would be the first time in the series, I think, that he's been able to stay away. Tim Cartwright, the king of KISS Racing, with the aero power up, 9 watts per kilogram, but here comes, is this Hargreaves upset? 12 watts per kilogram, it's 9 seconds, it's Hargreaves versus Cartwright. Hargreaves, 190 beats per minute, 8 second, Cartwright, he fades, 3 watts per kilogram, it's always got Cartwright. Is it going to be able to happen? Hargreaves, 193, it's going to be right to the line, 11 watts per kilogram, it looks like it's going to be Cartwright, and it's not Hargreaves, unable to pull it off. Second place, Chris Wonos, though, with third. What an effort with Goralik there out of nowhere. Phillips and Phone. But Cartwright with the upset out of the UK. KRT, Hargreaves almost closes it down, but nope, not going to happen. Not going to decorate on the day. Cartwright was able to make the decoration. It looks like solid result there for KRT. Cartwright letting us know, if anybody can break the group, if anybody can go off the front, it's going to be him. What an effort there coming from Tim Cartwright. Amazing, amazing effort from him. And so Carrie Konebear, though, from Team Vixen, she's going to be helping us out with a feed here. Solid effort. We do see a live feed from Kim Little, 160 beats per minute. Looks like he got 7th overall, it looks like. Solid effort just behind Phone and Phillips there. Nice job out there, Kim. You can see the suffering in his face. What an effort. And that's going to hold maybe on to the top spots, though, in the series, actually, with a 6th place overall. If that is correct, we'll have to wait and see if for the final results from ZipPower.com as they do give us updates. Cartwright, though, with that win, he may be edging. I mean, with 100 points, that's a 20-point increase because he does not have 7 races. And I believe Kim Little does have 7 races. So we are looking at the live results, and Cartwright is going to get a pretty good bump, I think, in those results. So we're going to have to see how things do pan out as the results do come in. I do believe we will get those tomorrow here. But back in with the women's racing, we definitely want to catch the finish for the women's race. We do have Carrie Conabear here giving us a look at 12th place overall. She's currently sitting in 10th. She's in no woman's land, though, here. Ludendorff trying to make the chase. This is important, though, that she holds off Reed, Ludendorff, and the rest, Frederica as well. If she can hold off that 22-second gap, that matters for her overall and the points, actually. Up toward the front, though, we've got Gray. We also have, it looks like, Angerman here, 18.1. They're about to head into their final lap, it looks like. Falk here, Cassie, all off the front. Now, this is the lead group situation right now. 18.2 in. They're going to be heading into their final lap for the women. Let's hear your predictions. Angerman's been able to get the better of the rest of the women, actually, in the sprints, usually. But Cassie and Falk most likely going to be looking to work against Angerman, who tends to have that kick to the line here. So it's going to be up to Cassie and Falk maybe to take down the strong rider who has been Patricia Angerman, riding in that 2017 Zwift Academy kit. And it looks like Cassie here from Team Experimental, though, 4.0 watts per kilogram, steady on the front there, but only 26 seconds. You know, in the back of their heads, they're thinking, how much are we going to work together? They are not teammates. There are no teammates in that front group. So it's this kind of playing that edge of whether or not you're going to work together, hold off the chase, or are we just going to look at each other and play games and wait to see who's going to do the work to hold off that pack, who's worried about them. Because some of the riders there in that lead group might be strong enough that they just don't care. They're just like, yeah, whatever, I can handle that group. I'm not going to do a whole lot of work, and just kind of let the pace do whatever it needs to. Now, we did find ourselves in the pens here. I'm going to see if we can get back in with them. I apologize, you guys. For some reason, the women's race again is pulling the us back into the pens a few times here. So I'm going to see if we can bring our other feed back into it real quickly here. And if we can, maybe we'll just get a couple of Watopia shots. I do know that Kim Little is still out on course. I do follow Kim, and so he may be able to give us a look into, maybe I can just ride with a random rider and they happen to be out on the volcano course. And nope, this guy's out on the so we'll get a cool little shot here of the mountain for a minute here as we jump into our other feed. But I apologize again, you guys. We have a little bit of a bug going on here with FanView, and we're hanging out over on the mountain course at the moment here. So we'll see if I can grab the other feed to jump on in to the race here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and log back in and see if we can find a few of the riders that I do follow. I should follow. It's also my fault, you guys. I don't follow every one of the, I thought I did follow most of the women, but I don't follow them on Lindsay's, my wife's account, which doesn't make it that easy to, I do follow on my personal account most of the women racers, but on my wife's account, they're not followed, which I should get that done. So that's on me, you guys, for not having that. So that I can jump right back. And it'd be nice if we didn't jump into the pens, but as I do know that is there. We should also maybe have a car out on course. I can create a rider car out on course that would keep us at least out on the volcano, always following things up. But we are going to be able to jump back into the race. I do follow Kirsty, so it is going to bring us right back in with the women's racing here as we get off of this this view here. Again, apologies everybody on that. And as we do get right back into the racing, we do see that they are going to be into their final lap here. We're up toward the front of the second chase group. We do have K Gray here. It looks like Vanderbeek as well. KRT now. Falk there, though, still with, it looks like Angerman with a little bit of tack on the front there. And this is going to be heading into the final miles here in just a moment. And final mile here in just a moment here. Cassie now making way to the front. These points are going to matter a little bit for second place overall. They're not going to matter for whether or not these women, I would think, are going to make the final, as they have some solid points on the results sheet, actually. Well, it is a best, excuse me, I shouldn't say that, actually. It's a best of 7. Kristen has 5 races and 89 points. Patricia has 5 races and 96 points. Cassie has 5 races and it looks like 88 points. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all separated by only about 10 points or so. So Cassie, Kristen, and Patricia really going to matter here for what place they take in the overall. They all have 5 races. Now, it does matter in the respect that they need to get better results because Frederique, as well as Anya and Jerlene Vanderbij here, all have more races than them, actually. So this is going to matter to hold on to those places and jump up above because Frederique, Anya, and Jerlene, they could all, if they were to take better results than Cassie, Kristen, or Frederique or Patricia in these finals, they could jump up above. Actually, these other riders. So Patricia, Kristen, and Cassie, though, they're hunting down Zeke Ryder, though, for that top spot overall. As they're going to gain 2 more races toward their overall. They get 1 more, as Z does have a best of 7 already in. So it's going to be on Z to hold on to that 2nd place overall, as you do see in the leaderboards here. Zeke Ryder with 117, but she does have 7 races. Patricia, they're 96. Kristen, Cassie, there's the current situation for the points. Now, heading into the final, though, it's going to be on Patricia to hold on to that 3rd place overall with another late attack here into the finish. Is she going to be able to hold on to it is the question, though, to the line right now. And it looks like 12 watts per kilogram always has that solid late attack, actually. And it looks like it is going to be a solid attack, able again to break off the other riders. Here comes the arrow power up, though, from Cassie. Is that going to actually upset Patricia's usual ability to break the other riders? But still, 9 meters, no draft just as of yet. But Kristen here right back onto the wheel there with the drafting power up. The drafting power up actually counters it all. Here comes Falk, though, Angerman there with an attack. Here comes the drafting power up, though, from Patricia, but it's going to be Falk off the front. Is she going to be able to make it happen here? Looking from the side angle, and no, it's going to be Patricia, it looks like, able again to take down the sprint. Sorry about the angles there. We were unable to grab a good angle, but Patricia, we did see it there. Solid sprint to the line. Counters a 2nd time. Able to take it. Cassie, then Kristen Falk across the line, it looked like. Now with the sprint for the next places. Kirsty now making her way to the line. It's going to be Highland, though, with a late attack here. As you can see, Highland's going to be able to just maybe be able to hold off KRT, but no, here comes the KRT rider, Jen, able to get across the line just ahead of Prince for the KRT, and then pull. It looks like the next rider across the line, maybe Hull was able to make it happen there coming out of Norway. Solid efforts all around from there. I do believe that's going to be within the top 10 of the women's riders there. Let's keep on moving back here and see if we do have another sprint that's lining up, though, into the final couple of meters here. And I do believe there was one more chase group. Not seeing any more across the line, though, so perhaps that was it for the women, for the top 10, actually. So I do believe that was it for the women for the top 10. Let's go ahead and see what was going on with the results, though, with them. As I'm looking through here, and I'm not seeing correct results, I think, for the overall in the men's race just yet. Let's see what we do have for the women's race, though, as I believe the men's race results are not quite right just yet. Let's see if we can bring in some of the women's. They are updating still, so we have to wait for the updates. Actually, here we go. So these are preliminary results. Patricia able to take it, as we saw there, just over Cassie Baldy by just 0.2 of a second, actually. We're seeing Kristen Falk there at less than a second back there for 3rd. So it was a solid sprint between those 3 riders. They were off the front. 28 seconds back was Kaz Jen for the KRT team, actually. That's a rider I'm not super familiar with, actually. Kaz Jen there out on course, taking a solid result. Where does she sit in the overall for the series is the question, actually. KRT, not seeing her with enough races, I don't think, out on course for the overall. But Kirsten Pohl, actually, with a solid result within the top 10. And maybe going to be working her way up above Carrie Conabear. Carrie Conabear is currently sitting in 10th place overall. I think she may fall in the series overall, and perhaps going to need a couple of more solid results in this overall, as it is going to be. Here's the overall results for the top 10 on the day. This is not the series results, but on the day, Kaz Jen with that 4th place, Willem Prinz, and then it was Kirsty Toll. Tilda Highland, early attack, unable to hold on to that, though, and gets out-sprinted at the line by Kaz. Jerlene Vanderbridge there, 8th place, Kirsten Pohl, and then Kimberly Gray. KRT, 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 KRT. 4 KRT riders, though, in that top 10 for the day. So definitely KRT showing up. And with Rachel talking about jumping in there, she may be able to bring back Patricia, Cassie, and Kristen, actually, and start making a little bit of an upset in there and lead out some of those KRT riders if they do have some solid sprints to the line. And maybe later in these series, as we do have race 8, 9, and 10, 3 more to go still. You know, we're on week 7 here, still a lot to go down. So in the racing series here, in the European series presented by Tacx on the day here. So I'm going to check out the comments and questions as they came through. And we've got a whole lot coming through here, actually, and a lot of cheering on going on from Giannis Dennings here, saying, "Go, come on, Carrie," cheering her on. And Ingerman will jump at base of climb, Z Crowder was saying. So a solid prediction there coming from Z on Ingerman taking it. Go KRT ladies, coming from Rachel there. Giannis saying, "Go Kirsty," who rides for Vision as well. Giannis Denning riding for Vision Cycling there. Well done, ladies, who took part. Gemma Anchors is saying, so close, Cassie. So close, Cassie. Well done from Rachel. Good to see all the women cheering on the other women out on course there. I am seeing the chat there over at Twitch as well. Thanks all you guys for cheering on all the riders over at Twitch as well. So next up, we do have the NA series coming on at you. The West, though, I know a lot of you are used to us covering the East, and we usually do cover the East. Today, though, we do have a special broadcast. We will be bringing in some live coverage from LaGrange Cycle Club, and so in conjunction with Zwift HQ, I believe we'll have Versam Bahati on site there doing some commentary. And so tune in for the West series tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, USA. Also, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's go ahead and see if we got any of the replays real quick here from the men's and the women's race. I do believe we can see how things did play out on the day. Oh, no, we did not get any of the replays today. So no replays today, guys and gals. They did not come on through, but a couple of our feeds obviously did get a little bit wacky there today. But we will be back with you tonight with the NA series. Again, the results on the day, it was for the men's side of things, Tim Cartwright with the ultimate attack there and a big upset on the usual sprint. Hargreaves was waiting for it. He obviously had the sprint to win if it was a bunch sprint, but Cartwright with the upset there takes out the men's field, gets another W out there. Watch out for him as he climbs the series overall. That'll give him 120 points, I believe. So matching up with Kim there, pretty solid result there. We'll see what the overall series says tomorrow. Hargreaves there, though, taking 2nd place and is going to be bumping up with, I believe, 4 or 5 races in now. And watch out for him for these later races. There's still 3 races to go. He might find himself in a top 10 situation. Chris Wonos with the 3rd today is going to be moving up a little bit as well. We did see Peter Fohn with the 5th. He'll be moving up a little bit. Kim Little with the 7th place so far. So we'll have to see if he can hold on to that top spot there. So that was with the men's results. That's the current series standings we were just looking at. But on the day, we were looking at a little bit of how things might change up. For the women's today, it was Patricia Engelman with a win. She's not going to be able to quite challenge Z, as that's only 20 extra points there. So Z will be able to hold on to that 2nd place overall, I believe. Kristen Falk was able to take 2nd place. Cassie Baldy 2nd place. Just might be able to bump ahead, though, then, of Kristen with that extra points. Or maybe even tie up with Kristen then. We'll have to see how things turn out when we get the official results tomorrow. But then it was Cassie Baldy there for 2nd. Kristen Falk for 3rd. Cass Jen was able to take 4th, and Willem Prince for 5th. So that's your top 5 there for the women. But this is the current leaderboard as of last week. We'll see how things turn out after we do get updates for this next week. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tonight for the NA West, as we do have coverage of that in conjunction with the Cycle Club. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that follow button over at Twitch. Head on over there for all of our live broadcasts on Zwift Community Live. We do have a Facebook. The algorithms on Facebook do not always give you live notifications. So if you want push notifications to your email or your Twitch apps on your desktop or on your mobile app from Twitch, you will get those push notifications sent directly to those locations if you follow us and turn on notifications over on our twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live web page. So we'll see you guys later tonight for the West Series, or for the West Kurt Series. And that's it for me. Congratulations to all the riders. And as always, ride on.